All right, welcome to Barber Talk, cut to the point. Isaac Miracles, Richard Meshali, Yitzchak Nisim, we all have different code names. This is the first podcast with Dani the Barber. We have major mentor Rabbi Saadia Elhadad here with us. And by Hashgacha Pratit, really by divine providence, we have Jonathan Benshimol all the way from Miami, a major influencer and TikToker. I can't think of a better way to start the podcast.
What about Shimon, who is on the...
We got Yan Simchon in the background. And since this is our first podcast, guys, we got to give him the backstory. First of all, Barber Talk, cut to the point. I mean, you remember this pretty clearly.
Yeah, I met him 8 years ago. He came to my barber shop.
We didn't even know, I didn't know how to speak English, he didn't know how to speak Hebrew. And we tried to communicate it. Slowly, we understand our neshamot getting closer together. It was not just a barbershop.
Right.
It was not just a haircut.
But let's. The reality is, okay. Once I heard that there was a Jewish barber that knew how to do fades, that got me. So in the world of haircuts, it's not just about cutting the hair. A fade is like it's typically done by African Americans. That's where
It came from, the fade, okay? They really are the ones that pushed it. Me, I fell in love with the fade since I'm a teenager. When I got into the religious world, there's only one haircut. It's all of the hair off. Any hairdresser that I went to, I said fade, he didn't even understand what I was saying.
I still don't understand what is fade.
Yeah. So a
Fade is
fade,
basically you have like, let's say 3, 2, 1. So they
Yeah.
fade it and blend it and make it look nice.
yeah. Okay, so when I heard that
Halachically, you have to be able
Dani,
to grab a bit.
Yeah, this is when I come from,
Yeah.
to my world, and I said, 1 second, we wanted the fade.
But we want to make it kosher.
right.
And some people have peot, and when they go to the barbers, they don't understand what's peot. And I came to this point, and I said, 1 second, how I make it fade, but still keep it kosher?
Right.
And I started to attract a lot of young people.
To make the fade kosher, and this is how we started connected.
that's what
He
got
said,
me.
"Wow, it's amazing!
Yeah.
How I can see
Wait, you're
a
both
Jewish
barbers?
barber." What?
You're both barbers?
no.
He's the
I,
client.
I,
I'm
I'm
the
just
barber.
I'm just a lover of the fade. So first of all, I went in with a bit of caution, because like when I go get I already got used to not getting fades and stuff like that. So when I heard, I'm like, okay, let me go check it out. And then when I saw like the skill set that he had, I was like, exactly what he's doing.
Can we
I
get,
think
can we get a
by
haircut after? I mean,
Free haircut.
I think by the 4th or 5th session, I realized that he was not just a typical hairdresser and a barber, because even though he had a bit of a broken English and we were communicating, I think one day I told you, I'm like, you realize you're not a hairdresser, right?
And I told him, I'm like, I think you're an artist, because he would the subjects that we would have and the conversations that we would have were so diverse. I'm like, oh my God, you're giving me back the experience that I used to have when I was a teenager. And that's where I realized that,
Anybody can go get a haircut, but what people are really looking for is an experience to just relax. And yeah, you're going to get your haircut, but
but you're going to hear other people in the barbershop. You're going to strike a conversation. And that's how our relationship started.
And from there, we start saying, okay, we have to do something. We never had the
opportunity, and finally, a few months ago, I said, "That's it. We have to do it."
yeah.
And the point is, and for my how I see it, we want to give people tools when the struggles, when they're in the moments of struggling, to understanding where the goals is to go, to give them tools. And I see a lot of people that talk about you want to be successful, come reach the top, but in the meantime, how you do it every day and how you get the right tools.
You're
And
holding the clipper. It's heavy. Just another minute.
And he helped me a lot. We know each other almost 10 years.
Yeah.
He helped me a lot. And I said, listen, we just need to put it on a podcast. We just need to put it outside.
Anyways, this is our first podcast. And when I saw this come together, like today, I'm like, oh my God, what a great way to start. So Thank you, Hashem. Thank you for anybody that's going to be tuning into this, for making this happen. Let's talk about influence. Whether you like it today or not, social media has given a mic to everybody and to anybody. If you think about it, that didn't exist before. You know what I mean? People had opinions. But now we're seeing so much diverse opinions and nuances and people and following. And it seems that if a person has enough of a following, even if the opinion is absolutely ridiculous, it has power. You know what I mean? And that fascinates me.
It's really interesting. You started with the negative things. I'm going to take it to the positive. We say every day in the Tefillah, Baruch She'amar v'ya'olam. Hashem spoke, the world was created. If a person can take this same social media, Rabbi Mansour once says, social media, samech mem is otiyot satan. But I think, not to go against the rabbi, I personally hate Instagram. I'll show you my screen time. I might have like a lot of followers and everything, but I hate social media. I hate everything to do with social media because I just think it's not the place for a Jew to be. And people be surprised from this because I'm literally like an influencer, but like all my rabbis tell me like you do this with a lot of yirat shamayim. Like literally before I make a video, I ask a rabbi. You know, like everything I do is to be conscious of Hashem because me myself, like I'm a religious from guy. I'm very disconnected from the world. I don't consume news. I don't consume these things because if you pay attention, news. What's happening in 2025 will also happen in 1960. This person, chas v'shalom, was assaulted. This person was robbed. It's the same thing, just reverberating because the whole idea of the news is not to actually promote positive thinking for the wellness of positive mental health in society. The whole purpose of media is to really get you to consume content. I was once in yeshiva in Aish and Rav Gav said, I'm very big on, it says in the Gemara, if you quote someone, it brings the Mashiach, right? So Rav Gav said, if it's free, you're the basically the, how do you say, if the app is free to download, then you're the how do you say, you're the product.
Consumer.
No, not the consumer, you're the product.
Oh, you're the product, right?
You're the product.
Right.
Besides the ads, we're consuming ideas. It's teaching us how to think. It's shape-shifting our ideas on dating, on marriage, on business, on religion. Right. Everything is all based on what's happening on social media. So, I think it's very important. Let's say what I do on social media. Baruch Hashem, thank you Hashem. My account reaches 5-6 million users a month. It's a big influence. Wow. And we're growing, and I'm going for the millions. I'm coming hard. But you have to be so careful with the idea that you're giving to the audience. You have to be so careful and to really think, like, is what I'm putting out, is it positive? Is it going to make a difference? Is it going to make a change? Because if it's not, it's better not to do it at all. And on that thought, I was just in Israel and I went to 3 Gdolim and I asked them the same, because it's so, at the same time, while it's so important, I also hold the weight of, it's so important, not only the mission of the public, but as for personal, I'm a Jew. It's Shmirat Einayim. Right. These things are real, you know? Yeah. And it's so, like, if a person would, like if you would take someone's phone and show them, like, what they're doing on their phone, they're not even aware. Like, married men will be looking up women, all these sneeze models, all these things that happen in the Jewish world that people think are kosher, but it's really the farthest thing from reality. Right. It's crazy. You can open up your phone and you can be in someone's house. You can be in someone's business. You can just enter into someone else's life. And to us, it became the newest thing. It's incredible. So I was just in Israel and I went to 3 big rabbis and I told them the same thing. I have a big influence, I have a big social media. What's the right thing to do? And they said for me, because I'm not a consumer, I'm a creator. It's a difference. So for me personally, if you're going to use it, I literally don't click the search page. I go, I post my video, I post my story, and I go off.
That's discipline.
That's how beautiful. I do it.
That's
because think about it. I want to get married. I want to have a family. I want to live in the community. I want to live a normal life. But at the same time, Hashem gave me a voice and He gave you the potential to do things. So basically, to answer the question of social media, the rabbi taught me once, is Torah Nun Vav, Torah Nun Tet. Every neshama has souls, like there are bigger neshama, there are smaller neshama. Every person has people that they can influence. And with Noach Weinberg said, if you know Aleph, teach Aleph. I was thinking that when you guys made the podcast, besides the fact that it's very similar to the podcast with like LeBron, you know, the barbershop talk, it's very interesting. It's very cool. You could do that in there. But it's also very nice that you guys are coming together to share wisdom. People sometimes think, I'm not, because I think there's a Mishnah, right? Like you have to learn a certain amount of Torah before you can start teaching people. But in this generation, if you know Aleph, teach Aleph. Anything you know, anything you share, a story, something, a Dvar Torah, halacha, anything that you can share that can positively influence someone else, Because what I did when I first started out is I saw social media. I'm like, yo, people are going up to people and saying, oh, where do you live in the city? Show me your apartment. What do you do for a living? And I'm like, let me use that same tool and let me flip it to Kedusha. Let me go around asking rabbis, how does someone find their soulmate? And I'll ask the same question to many different Rebbeim because every rabbi has his wisdom, his experience. Rabbi Saadia and his wife are in Montreal, Rabbi and the Rebbitzin, but this is their experience here. Because we only see the world through what our brain understands and through our lens of our eyes. But the experience in Montreal won't be the same experience, let's say, in Brooklyn, in the Syrian community, or in Queens, in the Bukharian community. Or where I live in Miami, in the mix of the community. Every place you go is different. And the beauty of what I do is Shivim Panim La Torah. So every person can, like what I do, I think is really the most special thing ever. To really have a platform where you're really pushing out positive content. And it's mamish, like I really feel sometimes like Hashem picked me. I'll literally be in my car sometimes. I'll feel like a wind of inspiration. I actually had a rabbi tell me it's like a sense of Ruach HaKodesh. I don't really know what that means. I'm not going to get into that. And I'll just take out my phone and I want to say a message. Like I think one of you were saying before, you said you were hesitating.
Yeah.
I'll reframe that for you. It's not that you were hesitating. Sometimes an neshama feels something. And when you give the right meaning to how you feel, you will hence feel the proper feeling. And I'll explain. It's not that you were hesitant. Your neshama felt an abundance of greatness in front of you. And it's a little bit scary because you're not used to it. But really, if you're trying to do something good, there will be opposition. But it's not negative. There's no such thing as negative. The Arizal writes, Hashem created a perfect world, and it's really us that makes it imperfect. So if you think about it, Hashem is Tov Umetiv, He's good, He's giving, and etc. But it's up to us to choose to live in a better world. It's like one person's wife can scream at him and he can get upset and think it's about him, or he can think out of himself and think, wow, she's having a rough day, and he can make it into comedy. Ishti, scream louder. I like it. You know, just to always...
I should try that one.
Basically, the idea is that if someone is throwing at you something negative, you just respond with a positive. You constantly, instead of reacting, you create, because that's your purpose as a Jew. Your purpose as a Jew is to procreate, to always do good, to always be tov umetiv, and to emulate Hashem and His character traits, because we're a lot more capable of anything. A, and B, we could do so much more that we don't even realize, but we're just limiting ourselves. And it's a shame to limit someone, because when you're a chelek elokam mimal, it's translated in English, when you're a portion of a divine soul, because we don't come from Hashem, that's Christianity, we come from the Shekhinah. When you come from the Shekhinah and you're a piece of Hashem, you're unlimited. And when you understand that you're unlimited, you can do anything. It's like going in a Lamborghini Urus. You guys know what that is? Urus? Yeah. Fancy car?
It's outside if you want.
Vade, no problem. Gashmias, I love it. You go in a Urus, you take it to some busy road in Montreal where there's speed cameras and you're sitting in traffic on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Lo alenu velo alechem. And you feel frustrated, and the car is frustrated, and everyone's frustrated. Even the people on the street, they want to see you rip sometimes, right? People get annoyed. Why? Because people subconsciously recognize the potential of the car and the potential of the driver, which is this car was built for maximum performance, right? V8 or V12 engine, whatever it is. Same thing with the neshama. When Hashem puts you into this world and you have so much potential and you don't use your potential to its fullest potential, you will feel what society likes to label as depressed or anxious or fear. But it's not that. You have so much potential. Just go out and make a difference. And it doesn't need to be like I do, going and making videos and changing the world, or the rabbi going and changing. Sometimes for a person to change the world is to just change himself, to change a midah, to make his reality better, to go in to open up a business instead of working to make someone else richer. And I can go on, to go look for your soulmate, to stop being so in the past of, okay, I went, didn't work out. Like, go look for your wife, bro. You know, you have to find your wife. Open your business, believe in yourself, create a vessel, let Hashem fill it. And I can go on and on about this, but what it really boils down to is that we have infinite potential, and there's never a tap. Look at Donald Trump, the president of the United States. He had a historical run for presidency, 4 assassination attempts, 2 official, 2 off camera, whatever. But the guy doesn't stop going. He's a horse. He doesn't stop going. And you can learn from a goy, or you can learn from the rabbis. Look at Chacham Ovadia, look at Rav Chaim Kanievsky, Rabbi Nachman Mibreslev, the Lubavitch. These are people that were committed to something and they did not stop. One sits and learns Torah. One goes and speaks and changes the entire world. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you have immense power inside of you, and it all starts with your mouth. And with that, I could keep going, but we'll pass the mic to the rabbi.
First, nice to being with you guys. Like you said, Yitzhak, It's ashkacha pratit. You called me an hour ago and said, come.
Yeah, that's very rare.
Very rare.
People who know,
I don't know how
Rabbi
that...
Saadia Elhadad know that if you try calling him, you should probably say the whole book of Tehillim if you want him to pick up.
So Baruch Hashem, it's very special being here. And I like when I'm listening. Jonathan and I, we opened the Torah of Rabbi Nachman and Yitzchak, you know it, probably Dani also, where Rabbi Nachman explains that each individual has what we call a malchut. A malchut in Hebrew means a kingship, an authority, a power, influence.
Or you could call it social.
Also, yeah.
Right.
So you can, it's just, you can translate it in different things. But the general term, the generic term is malchut. So Rabbi Nachman explains there is two types of malchut. There is malchut deit galia, malchut deit kasya. There is hidden malchut and revealed malchut. So someone, example, may have an impact, an influence on just his family, his children. Someone have a bigger impact on the community, someone on the world. So each one has a level of the impact. Each one comes in this word with the malchut. The reason God gave you this power of influence is only in order to reveal Him. That means if someone has a power of speech, power of an impact on people, and he uses it for his personal benefit, that's a very bad thing. Okay? That means actually he's an egocentric guy. He's only looking at himself, I and myself, and nothing else. The reason God gave us this tool is in order to make this world a better world. Number one, like you mentioned, Jonathan, but also to reveal Hashem's malchut. And look the way Hashem drives the world. Hashem obviously is impacting everything. He's the source of life, the source of the history of every action of anything which is. And still, he's very hidden and very anav and concealed. So there's this paradox. From one side, you have to go out and to influence people. But from the side, you still have to keep very humble. It's a very big paradox. And we know truth is always in the paradox.
Yeah.
As Rabbi Nathan explains, truth is always in the paradox. So from one side, you have to be beseter, because the Torah put a lot of emphasis on being always discreet and like Yosef Hatzadik. Okay, what do we say about Yosef Hatzadik? So this is the huge paradox. From one side, Yosef was Sheni Lamelech. He was the second in the world after Paro. Okay, and from the other side, his midah of Yosef Hatzadik was discretion, was humbleness, was even samuch minayim, hidden from the eye. So how does it work? How could you be second in the kingdom, like Sheni Lamelech, and the other side, you're super discreet about your own stuff, your own thing, So that's a very difficult.
It's very hard.
Paradox. So first and foremost, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu give us strength, let's be careful not to become self
used by it, if you will.
Exactly.
Because I can relate very much to what you're saying. I remember when I first started my musical ambitions. Okay, so I had done tshuva. It was just before I got married and stuff like this, and my concept was to be like, take the hip hop, the R&B, the music that you loved, okay, and translate it, translate it in where you're at right now, and kind of integrate, what you can. And so I bought into that fully. And when I wanted to use the tools of social media, I felt a tremendous pull too. I felt there were, at the beginning, it was more like you were saying, like, no, I'm doing this. I don't want to be a consumer. You know what I mean? But slowly but surely, it pulls you in. Oh, what is this artist? And then you start kind of going down a rabbit hole, and you start noticing things, and before you know it, you're a consumer. I find it's a very big struggle.
Then you're here, like you have your barber shop here,
right?
And Baruch Hashem, as we know, barber are the most happy guys. Why? No, it's true.
Really? Why?
You know that dentists are is the profession where you have the highest suicide. Wow. Because they can talk to no one. Dentists, highest level of suicide. Why?
They can't talk.
They cannot. They can express. But the barbers, Baruch Hashem, they have this ability to communicate,
Right.
to listen to people, because people need to talk. Everybody has to express himself.
That's right.
They live through their expression. So Baruch Hashem, you have...
בעברית, סליחה שאני חותך את הרב, בעברית אומרים שספר זה מלשון סיפורים.
יפה.
כולם באים לספר את הסיפור
יפה,
שלהם.
יפה. ממש יפה. Jonathan mentioned before, God created the world through the dibur, through the power speech. So whenever someone speaks, he exists. The influencer also exists when he speaks to other people. And everybody needs to speak. Even those people, those consumers that you call consumers, ultimately they want to talk also.
They want to exist.
They want to exist.
That's the problem, though. You create content because you want attention. Like, basically, like, let's zoom out for a second. You have, let's say you have Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatever. It's all controversy. It's all negative, and all these people that are consuming content, like, zoom out. The people on the top, they're designing apps to make you stay on it longer because they want to control you, right? If the app was really made for the benefit of the person, you would get a reminder after 5 minutes, hey, Jonathan, maybe it's time to get off your phone and go do productive things. Or maybe you would have a option to filter things out, you know, like you can click what I want to see. Because the second you download any single app, it asks you, what's your location? Where are you? Right. And they want to like just, it's all a business. You see products, like Instagram can literally show you makeup and you'll all of a sudden want to buy skincare. You don't know why, but that's how the brain works. It's subconscious. You're picking up, you know, every second we pick up billions of details. From the second I walk into this room, I'm picking up billions of details. Wow, equipment, podcast, new thing, blah, 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 nonstop. Like, how can we expect people to just get anything good from social media if there's not enough positivity being pushed out? Why is the world a mess today?
Hence this podcast, a cut to the point. This is the subject that we're talking about. This is exactly it. It's how do you manage that paradox, you know?
I think we need less screen time and more like real life time, you know what I mean?
I hear
like
you.
Just going for a walk in the park can solve most, like I once heard Lipa Schmelzer say in a podcast that if a person would just take 3 months, lose 20 pounds, go for a walk every day, meditate a little bit, listen to positive music, not negative cursing, women and drugs, all that. In 3 months, you'll become a different person. Rav Noach Weinberg would famously say, people don't need therapists, they have to learn how to think, how to structure their thoughts.
But how you give them this tool?
That's what I do. You know? I just happen to be in this world, so I'm perfect for this type of a subject because I can literally inform you A to Z how this works because it's my entire life. I speak to rabbis all day about this topic. I speak to the most brilliant minds in the world, and I have them on standby to always ask a question because I know how dangerous it is. And that's why I told you, you said managing the paradox. I happen to manage the paradox because I have no choice.
But there's a lot of people that are still struggling and they still
that's why I said it's better not to. It's like there's a story in the Gemara of 2 rabbis that were walking, right? And there was a longer way and a shorter way. The longer way was clean. It was a forest, whatever it is, and no pritzut. Pritzut is like immodesty for the audience, something that you shouldn't be looking at. The shorter way, there was a house of immorality. To say it in the most nice way. Understood? Understood. The rabbi that took the shorter way, he was called a wicked person. The rabbi that took a longer way was called a righteous person. It's a very extreme and graphic language for the Gemara to use. So the question is why? And the Hashem is trying to teach you that if you put yourself in a situation where you can fall, that's not a message that we should approve because we're not strong enough. We're human beings at the end of the day, and besides all the beautiful religion and things, we have tendencies. Men have tendencies for relations, for money, for power, for things, and it's more so learning how to use these things to make the world a better place. But on top of that, to put in social media and so many ideas and exchanges. Like, can you scroll on your phone for 5 minutes? Chances are you're not going to feel better afterwards. You feel good when you start, but when you finish, you feel worse.
True.
So it's like, maybe it's just better not to manage the paradox and to just, you know what I mean?
So should we kill the show? Maybe we should just kill the show then. You know, guys, the first show, it's the last show. We brought a huge TikTok influencer. I give up. You know,
no, we have to.
It's not realistic. But if you want to know my honest opinion, I would say yes.
I hear you.
When I get emails from people saying, like, I deleted Instagram because of you, I get very happy. And me as a married person, I don't want Instagram on my phone. I'm going to try to find someone to do it for me.
I hear you.
You know?
I hear you.
That's just the God honest truth. I think it's just better to stay away.
I hear you.
I'm going to tell you, sir, personally, I always live in this contradiction, especially being, education.
Right.
And we forbid to the kid to come with phones at school.
To the school, right.
And even if they have a phone, which we discourage them to have, is to put filters on top of filters.
Right.
So we have so many, because we know the danger, especially for a teenager, it can get lost. And there's so many bad stories about, how many catastrophe happened with social media. So definitely there's a huge, huge danger. Like once someone said, it's like giving an 80-wheel truck to a kid who doesn't know even how to drive and tell him drive it. What are you talking?
Or a winning lottery ticket.
So what do you expect from the guy? Obviously, he's gonna be a catastrophe. Yeah, so it's true. But this being said, it's still a tool that we can speak over and over. It's happening, and will continue to increase.
That's right.
And it's going to happen more and more with AI, okay? And now is how do we take it from there?
Right.
I'm born, okay? I'm 63 years old. When I was a kid at school in Morocco, the pen didn't exist. The pen.
Really?
There was the ink, and until I was 12 years old, I
learned how to write with like a scribe.
Exactly. Wow. And by the way, we have a good writing because of that. Okay, so we have to.
Did they also smack you with the ruler on the?
I got smacked. Yes, I got.
Don't go far.
I got smacked. So I'm from the generation where you had ink. How you call la plume? Huh?
A quill.
A quill.
Yeah.
So the quill and the ink.
Did you go to a Jewish school in Morocco?
Yeah.
Everybody was
L'École
Jewish?
d'Alliance. Yeah.
Was it religious?
No. Traditional school. So just, I want to mention that. So I'm born with the quill and the ink, right? Mm-hmm. I remember they introduced the pen. For us, the pen was the greatest chidush. And I remember teachers were against using the pen. What?
Oh, really? They had a pushback.
They had, say, what you're talking about? We're going to lose the quality of the writing, and this is not normal.
Wow.
So I remember that the pen was not welcome in the beginning. And obviously, you guys don't know what a quill and the ink is look like. I used a pen for 30 years, and then someone, smarty there, created a tablet. Oops. And now, forget about it. Going now in CGF University, no one is writing anything.
No one writes.
It's everything is on a tablet. And I remember when the tablet started, people are going to lose their memory. They're not going to use anymore their neurons. So you see that there is an evolution here that we cannot stop.
Yeah.
The chokhmah is not to stop social media. And coming from a rabbi, it looks like weird what I'm saying. But it's not stopping social media. It's not stopping the quill. It's not stopping the pen. It's not stopping the tablets. It's all about giving adaptation and giving and teaching to people the right how to use something. Because in this world, everything is neutral. It's what you do with it which is going to give it. Example, which I always give my classes. You find uranium. You know what uranium is? Uranium is a metal.
Sure.
It's
uranium, yeah.
Uranium. We find it in Canada. We're rich in uranium. Now, this uranium, you can sell it to a company who's going to produce electricity with that. Or the same uranium can be sold to another company who will create a nuclear bomb. So the same uranium can bomb a city or bring light to a city. Yeah. It's the same. And you didn't create the uranium, it was there. Hashem did it for you. Now it's up to you how you're going to use this uranium. Same thing with technology. If you want to help the young ones, is to teach them how to use it. That this tool is a tool. Now, it could be very dangerous, super dangerous, or it could be very helpful and it brings, accelerate. So, at the end of the day, it's not the tool that we have to talk about. It's like you said, how to teach to people how to think, how to behave. Because one of the biggest issues with the social media, it creates a lot of loneliness. People, they don't interact anymore. They're very satisfied by being alone. From one side, you have a tool which we're not going to change it. It's going to just improve and get more sophisticated.
Right.
And from the other side, there is so much bad and side effects. It's like a trufa, a medication. Medication, they all have secondary effect.
Right.
So now is how to use the medication, but without the secondary effect.
Right.
But to say that we're going to stop the medication
Right.
or to stop using the tool, it's utopic. It's not realistic.
realistic.
And it's not going to happen. So you better take your people and show them the way.
Right.
Lead by example and show them the way to use this tool. And obviously, it's a very dangerous. Again, I repeat, there is a huge danger.
Yeah.
But you have no choice.
Yeah.
We spoke about Malchut. So we see that the ultimate, that's what's called Asarim Teshuva, the 10 days of Teshuva. Teshuva is the ultimate Teshuva is to understand that all the tools that Hashem gave us is not for using them personally, is to reveal His authority, to reveal Hashem in the world. Because once Hashem is revealed, all the problems are solved. Everyone is happy. Because Hashem is the source of life, the source of happiness, the source of all what we need to. So, Mehmet, if we can use the social media in order to reveal Hashem, this Charles Kirk, my wife, she cried when it happened last Thursday. Wow, when he died. I didn't know him personally. My wife, my daughter,
She followed him.
she followed him like religiously. And I want to listen to a couple of his thoughts. By the way, he said exactly what you said before. He said, I'm practicing Jewish Shabbos. He
Jewish,
said,
right.
Jewish Shabbos. What? Because he understood that you have to take a pause.
Yeah, 100%.
If you don't stop once a week, so the guy was not brought up as a Jew, but he understood the concept of Shabbat, the beauty of Shabbat.
Shabbat, right.
But this guy was brilliant. I listened to a couple of his intervention he had, and you see that this guy, only 31 years old, he used all the power
channels,
that Hashem gave him in order really to influence the American people or even the broader audience to do good.
Yeah.
And I think he was a tremendous asset for the American society.
Yeah.
And hopefully there'll be someone who will take over, because those people are very precious in a society, and you need those people who influence positively. With all the junk and the propaganda you have today and the lies, Olam HaSheker, we're in a world of illusion, and Chazal said there is more illusion and falsehood in this world than reality. Okay, so we have to bring the light of God in this world, the good values, family values, and a goy to a goy, a Jew to a Jew, a Jew to whatever we can interact.
It's very interesting when you think of the three major religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, is that probably the only culture and nation in the world that is saved once a week from external influence. We have one day where we're completely, and it's if you keep Shabbat, you're not touching your phone. You could turn it on right after Shabbat is finished, but once a week you are completely sheltered. And I wonder, as we're talking about this subject, maybe this is the proportion. In other words, like Hashem is saying, listen, throughout 6 days a week, you're gonna get into this paradox. You're gonna get don't let the virus get you. But if the virus did get you, okay, I'm gonna give you one day where you don't touch it. You detox yourself from it. Then you're allowed. Then you can go. It's kind of like this.
No, it's completely not. I completely and respectfully disagree. It's not true because you're making the week. Not you. Just the idea you were saying.
No, you could say you.
Yeah, whatever.
You could debate it.
I'm not.
This is Barber talk.
I will debate it.
You know what I mean?
It's very.
You could pretend. You could debate it.
You cannot make the week the Ikar and make the Shabbat the secondary.
That's not what I said.
No, that's what it sounded. I'm just making sure that's what it sounded like. The priority is Shabbat. One of Hashem's names is Shabbat. You can't say Shabbat when you're in the mikveh or in the bathroom.
Right.
It's one of Hashem's names. Shabbat, we live in the sense for Shabbat. Shabbat is what gives power to a person's life. Like people think like, oh, let me work harder and Shabbat work more. No, Shabbat Shabbat's not just a source of blessing for the upcoming week. Shabbat's the source of blessing for the entire world. The 6 days is not to work, it's to prepare for Shabbat in the craziest way that it sounds. And I'll say something even crazier. The Rambam says that in Rambam that a person should learn Torah 9.5 hours a day. Crazy thing. But in God's ideal world, he wants every Jew to close their businesses and to maybe real estate it out And there's a question, but some people are poor. The rich people could really, if they want, they can make a massive yeshiva. Everyone will come sit and learn Torah all day. Everything will be organized and paid for. The Jews will learn Torah, and Mashiach will come. We'll all love each other, and that's it. Because really, and this is actually something that I listened to Charlie Kirk say recently, that if he was talking about it in a Christian sense, but just to bring it to a Jewish sense, if a person would really, if we would design the world and the government in the way that Hashem wants it to be, there would be no need for police. There would be no need for because the court of law and the judiciary system is all lies. It's all, bribes and this and that. But what if we actually lived our world in the way that Hashem wants us to live it? Because it's more so, it's not using one thing to prepare from the other thing, like you were saying, Shabbat to shelter from the world. It's no, if you really keep Shabbat properly, then you will be protected the entire week. When you live by the way Hashem wants you to live, which is you keep Shabbat, not just keeping Shabbat by not doing. People think Shabbat's like, oh, don't touch your phone. No, it's the biggest nonsense. That's literally like 1 second. Okay, you put your phone on DND or you just close it and then you go into Shabbat mode. No, you have a Neshama Yetera that's coming down to make you happy. You have a wife that's cooking you a beautiful meal for you to enjoy with your family, for you to sit and to have Shabbat songs and to share Divrei Torah. One letter on Shabbat is times 1,000. Yeah. If you teach people that, not disconnect, it's more of a reconnect to your soul, to who you are. And that will fuel you the entire week. It's very interesting, if you actually pay attention to these things that are happening in front of our eyes. It's so divine. You know what I mean? I just wanted to point that out.
I hear you. I think that's a beautiful.
The point that Yitzhak was trying to make, and I think it's very important. We human beings have a lot of power, but unfortunately, we don't use it. The beauty of the Torah and through Shabbat, it teaches you how to not get overwhelmed by the materialistic world,
right?
And the opposite, find the strength within you to not let the material world take over. Because this material world, this illusion of the 6 days, what we call the 6 days, yes, we're completely in a world of illusion. Shabbat is 1/60 of the Olam Haba, so of truth. So when you tap in the light of Shabbat and you're strong, so now you have the power that even during the 6th day, you won't be taken and dragged swept away by the illusion of this world, and by the craziness of this world. That's why whoever does Shabbat usually is very strong in order to be able to see what's real, what's fake, what's emet, what's sheker, and so on and so forth. Why? Because we tapped in this very specific light, and we carry this light during the whole week after, like you mentioned. So the idea of practicing Shabbat is not chas v'shalom because it's a refuge. It's the opposite. It's a source. Mekor haberacha. It's a mekor. It's a source. You go there, and you take. So the idea, and maybe we'll go back to the point of starting discussion. We have, Baruch Hashem, the most amazing thing in life is Torah. Torah is godly wisdom. God gave us something that it's Yerusha. It belongs to everyone. It's a universal wisdom that Hashem gave not only the Jews, but to humanity. It's not just us. And the project of the Torah is not just for the Jews, and we see Muslim adopted part of the Torah, Christian adopted another part, and eventually they will adopt it completely. Why? Because it's a godly gift. Now we have this godly gift, and we have to use it properly, and never forget that. Yes, we have something that Hashem wants us to share with the rest of the world. By definition, we know lilmod al menat lelamed, lekayem vela'asot. That's what we're supposed to do. It's not only what is true love. What's I love. Love is sharing by definition. So when you feel that you have something precious, wisdom, things which are amazing, obviously you want to share it. That's what social media should be used for, to share wisdom, to share greatness,
but
share.
The rabbis are not teaching Torah to the non-Jews, though.
We're not trying to convert anyone. Judaism is not proselytic. It doesn't try to bat universal value. Yes, everybody must have those minimum 7 laws of Noach, which are universal values and should be practiced by everyone. And that's, yes, we do. We have the obligation. Tiyu mamlechet kohanim vegoy kadosh, a nation of priests. What a priest does, he teaches, he influences, he shows the way. That's what a priest is all about. It's very important not to forget this role. And that's why most probably Hashem did social media today, for us to be able to influence the whole, to be or lagoim, the light to the nation, and in a positive
I don't think
way.
we're doing a good job of it. Well, we're not going to do a good job of it with your opinion and your side of it, to be honest with you, because according to you, you would rather not do it at all.
No,
right?
He's doing it.
I know he's doing
to use it.
I know he's doing it, but if it was up to him, he said he would have his own app, bring all the people that want to go to that app, and that's what he would do. And I feel resistance to that. It's not personal, okay? We're just discussing ideas. But
I was saying that if you already have to, like, if the generation has already gotten to a point where it's like, this is something that's like the rabbi was saying, the ink, the pen, now it's a tablet. If this is already how society is, I would prefer people that, for Jews at least, create a safe space to be online and to, like,
okay, but
you
know what?
Because it's very good for
one
second. It's very good for networking. It's very good for maybe shidduchim. It's very good to get people.
The Jewish people have taken that route, okay?
But I would ideally say, ditch the tablet, ditch the pen, go back to the ink and quill. Let's go back to Anashim Shalpam, as they say. We don't need all this garbage nowadays. It just doesn't do good for us.
Well, listen, I hear that, but you know, if
but Mechila, how you want to influence 8 billion people on planet Earth? Because that's the ultimate goal. Ultimate goal is to make sure that God's wisdom, which is the Torah, okay, which already we did not such a bad job, okay? Let's go back quickly. Torah was given 3,380 years ago, and it's a universal project. We were able, 2,000 years ago, to start a new branch, which is Christianity. 600 years later, Islam came out, okay? So today, half of the planet, 5 billion people on planet Earth, okay, are attached to those values, which come from the Bible. Obviously, it's not the original, the authentic Bible, but it's already a huge influence on humanity.
So you're looking at this as a global project.
Absolutely.
I see what you're saying.
That's why today, if Hashem let the social media to appear, and we're the last stretch of humanity as we know humanity today, and that's where I have to reveal Hashem's Malchut. So again, now Hashem gives an amazing tool, which is the internet, the social media, the AI, everything, and you're going to see everything's going to turn out for the best. I don't believe in those apocalypse scenarios. I don't believe in these things that it's going to be the opposite. Everything's going to turn out for the best.
I agree.
And Bezrat Hashem,
Hashem,
you're going to see that all what we're going to do is use the uranium only to bring light in the world and not destruction. It goes through those tests and difficulties and setbacks.
We're going through a process.
But Bezrat Hashem, you're going to see that eventually all humanity, וכולם יבואו וישתחוו בברך, like we say, נעלנו שביח, okay? Everyone's come and recognize God, recognize the wisdom of the Torah, and not because we're self-centered as Jews. Opposite. Once I was on a TV show, in Tout le monde en parle. It was 2 million viewers, 2 million viewers.
Right.
Listen to this question they asked me. Would you give your daughter to a goy to marry? Says no. So he looked at me like, you're a racist. Right? That's obviously, that's why you try to put me to corner me. Says no, the opposite. I told him like this. We Jews not only are not racists, we have a responsibility of being universal. But before achieving the universal goal of that the Torah wants us to be, we have to be ourselves first, because you cannot give when you don't know even yourself what you're supposed to give. Be yourself, be successful in what you're supposed to be a priest, and then teach. But you cannot be a teacher if you know nothing.
You cannot. Yourself.
You don't. In this phase, no, I cannot, because I'm not there yet. I'm not yet in a universal level stage. It will come. That's something which will happen later. But for now, let's keep each one on his own turf and assume his own mission. Each one of us has a specific mission individually. Collectively, we Jews have a mission, and the other nations also have their own mission. Each one has, by 70 nations, 70 missions. And we are supposed to put all this together and in a beautiful way and to crown God with all 70 pearls, the 70 pearls of each nation. Because each nation is a diamond. Each nation has something very beautiful within it. If we take all those 70 pearls and diamonds, which they are, and we create a crown with that, that's what Hashem is looking for. But it's not yet come the time. But in order to do that, you need tools. And for me, one of the tools, it is the social media. It is the AI. It is all what we're going through. And with the super danger that it is. Yes, because people are going to use it as we see today.
For the wrong thing.
For the wrong thing. Look, the propaganda against Israel today.
Right.
What all this propaganda and this brainwashing is coming today.
Right.
It's very dangerous. We're going through very, very rough time. Do you know what's going on?
Yeah.
We're Chas v'Shalom in 1939 now. We almost feel like we're back to
The
before.
Palestinian flag is like the Nazi flag.
It's a crazy where we are at the place. In 2 years, the whole world turned upside down. Why? Because the Qatar invested so much, billions of money in universities, in social media, in propaganda.
It's good versus evil.
And that's,
You know,
and that's where we are now.
I want to tell you guys. I want to tell you guys something. Maybe before we end off, I didn't go to a Jewish high school. Okay, I went to a high school that was Haitians, Arabs, French Canadians, and those were my friends. I brought Palestinians to my house. I brought Iraqis. That's how I grew up. Those were my friends. You know what I mean? I learned how to deal with multiple cultures. Okay, and to integrate and to find common ground. So I have a bit of resistance to like, we have to be like this, it's like, then how do you want me to have, how can I share the beauty of the Torah and my way of life if I'm only like this? You know what I mean? So it's
No,
like,
but be careful. Again, I go back now to what Jonathan says. First, make sure you share with the closest around you.
yeah.
Reinforce people, the core
Sure.
nucleus. Then you can expand. But if someone is not really strong from inside, don't let him go outside before he's strong inside. And unfortunately, there's a lot of kids out there, our kids on campuses, on university. You know what? They lack knowledge. They don't know what to answer. They don't know really what the Torah is. Jonathan speaks fluently, brilliantly, Baruch Hashem. But how many Jonathan are on campus? How many Jonathan are able to speak this way? You know what? Because this is you've touched with the universal function that we have. Mamlechet Kohanim veGoy Kadosh. That's the point. And each one, Mamlechet comes from Malchut, comes from authority, from governance, from kingship, from helping, from impacting. We all have this Malchut again. Each one at his level. Each one with what Hashem is giving us in terms of. But we must know how to use it to impact people. Each one our own level, whatever Hashem put us, okay, each one has to impact. You mentioned before, you know letter, go teach your letter. You know sentence, go teach your sentence.
Yeah.
That's exactly what has to be done. Whatever we are, we have to share, to spread. Rabbi Nachman says, what's the highest level of chesed, of, chesed, how you say it? Kindness. Is
Yeah.
Torah chesed. Is to share Torah, wisdom. You can give money to someone, it's kindness. You can teach him a trade, it's kindness. There's so many kindness that you can do. But the highest level of kindness you can do is to share wisdom, to give him da'at, godly awareness, to give him understanding, chokhmah, bina, v'da'at. When you give this to an individual, you give him something which is infinite, much more than anything.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. You have some that you have some wisdom, share it. And if the platform is called Instagram, share it on Instagram. If the platform is called Facebook, share it on Facebook. Oh yeah, there's a lot of danger. Absolutely. When you want to do great things, there's a lot of the dangers. But be strong, be very careful, but don't use those platforms smartly, intelligently, with limitation on your own self.
Barriers.
Barriers, be very careful. The same way you're going to drive an 18-wheel truck, you have to know how to drive it, but drive. Get to your destination. Deliver the merchandise. Make sure it goes from A to B, and the world will be a better place to be.
Beautifully said, Rabbi Saadia, and this has been a very fun experience. Tzaddik, shmak. I like to say that this podcast, the main question was, how can we learn how to balance and live with social media? And I would like to say the most controversial rebuttal. What we should be saying is, how do we live in 2025 with the Kadosh Baruch Hu? Wow. The Chafetz Chaim wanted to change the world. He set out and he failed. He tried to change his country, Montreal, Canada, America, his city, his town, his neighbor. Everyone he tried to influence, it didn't succeed. You know what he did? Changed himself. And the minute that you change yourself, you change the world. So the question shouldn't be, how do we live with social media and balance with it, etc. The question should be, how do we bring it back to the old times? There's a Gemara in Masechet Sotah, Daf Mem Te Amud Aleph, 49a. And Rabbi Yochanan said, ink in the quill, I take all my knowledge. This is probably someone who could mechayem etim. You go to a dead body, you say, get up. The guy gets up. I compare all my knowledge to the last drop of the ink off the quill. We have to go back to the ink off the quill. We should have to go back to when we grew up thinking, wow, the battle now is social media, but the battle used to be, I want to learn Torah, but I have to go to work. The battle now is when to check Instagram, but the battle used to be when to get closer to Hashem, the battle of the real truth. And we got almost completely, hijacked. Our entire nervous system, everything. The rabbi was saying it's a generation of loneliness. The brain can see a movie of love and feel the dopamine that you don't have to go and get married now because you feel content. So really, it's not how to live with social media. It's how do we minimize less of this nonsense and to really start educating people and to really just going back to the simplicity of mankind, which is just going for a walk, going on a date, going on in a business meeting, all this marketing and this it's crazy
Jonathan, you're right, and I agree 100%. But as we know, the Torah puts emphasis on present. Hayom im tishmau bekolo. Now the present is made of what? Yitzchak Nissim, Dani, you're here? What's the principle about?
Checking their phones.
I want to get a haircut. I want to get a fade. This guy's the biggest influencer. And he wants to kill his platform. I'm going to take
the haircut before you.
I dare you to do
Dani, you take me now. Before him.
Dare me to what?
That's what my payback today, and I'll pay for it.
I'm
Obviously.
getting a haircut, right?
No, but I just want to finish, and that's very important. And you came back a few times on that idea, but I want to, if you permit me, correct something.
Please.
Here.
Yes.
Present is putting two things opposite together, past and future. Torah wants us to live in present time. Hayom tishmau bekolo. Present is the fusion of the past and the future. And this way it's so difficult to live in the present. A lot of people live in the past. Oh, you remember Yascha, we had the quail, it was nice. And some say, no, what stupidity is this? We have to look for AI, for new things, the space, the moon, and the Jupiter. Come down. Forget about Jupiter for the quail. Put all this together now. What do I do now? Live in the present. Use the present tools that Hashem give us at this moment. Because anyways, whatever exists now, is happening now, is the will of Hashem. So let us use it properly and just know how to use things. Not to reject, not to fight back things which will, or just to bring back old memories, or to live on a uncertain future. No, ala makom. And if we do that, the world will be a much better place to live. And look at it, most of the people live or in the past or in the future. Okay? Oh yeah, tomorrow I start Shabbat when I have money to do Shabbat. Or we used to have Shabbat, that was a great thing, but today it's not today, that it's finished. It's not true. Today, I'm taking what has to be done now. So Bezrat Hashem, we should be able to, can I have my haircut now? Mashiach now.
They say depression is obsession over the past, anxiety is obsession over the future, optimal growth is obsession over the present moment. Bes simcha otiyot machshava. My name is Jonathan Benshimol, and I approve this message.
Chazak. All right.